Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City, where we want to help you build a Lego city regardless of the space you have. Welcome to episode 3 of the Brick Design Breakdown, where we share Lego building techniques and ideas. This is a live stream, so do join in. The chat is up, so please say hi. Let us know where you're from, whether you're joining in live or you are watching the replay. We always like to know where you're from and what time it is in your part of the world. We've got great stuff lined up for you, and as people are coming in, just like to say welcome once again. And you can support the channel in different ways. If you're watching this live or on the replay, all you need to do is like this video, as simple as that. And if you haven't, please subscribe to it as well. And of course, you can support the channel by heading over to smallbrickcity.com/shop, and you can check out any of our awesome products, from books, building instructions, and cool merchandise. Or if you just want free Lego stuff, you can also head over to smallbrickcity.com and you can subscribe to that website. Just fill in your name and your email in the contact box and you get access to our special backstage area where you can download building plans for a mini house, check out a book review or book preview, as well as exclusive video tutorials and artwork. So lots of stuff to see at smallbrickcity.com. Not just the free stuff, but lots of free articles on how to build a Lego city. So let's check out the live chat and just see who's around. We have ChrisTube Gaming. Hello. I believe this is the first time we are seeing you in the live stream. Great for you to be here. You have the book, Bricks for Small Places. Oh, that's cool. Where did you get that from? Did you get that from us or did you get that from somewhere else? Cowie's Creations. Hey, great to see you. Tree of Ore Productions. Great to see you here as well. Well, today for the Brick Design Breakdown, we've got pretty much interesting stuff. We've got 3 main topics, and I actually did a poll on my YouTube channel. Now if you're wondering where's this poll, in case you didn't see it, well, if you go to the channel page and you see the different tabs like home, video, playlist, you'd see a tab called community. Now if you click on that tab, that's where I do all kinds of posts as well as polls, basically short updates that aren't video updates. So I did a poll, and in that poll, I basically asked which of the 3 topics that we'll be discussing today would you be most interested to see. And here are the 3 things that we'll be talking about today. The tips on building a Lego store MOC. MOC ideas for the Caravan Set 60182. And finally, ideas for using hinging brick plate elements. And you can see basically we had 167 people vote over a day. That's pretty good. Thank you very much everyone who participated, and overwhelmingly people want to see how we're gonna build a Lego MOC, or what are the tips on building a Lego store MOC. So we will definitely be discussing that first, and then I'll share MOC ideas for the Caravan set, and then we'll also talk about hinging brick and plates, because that's something we always do for each episode of the Brick Design Breakdown, since we are talking about always building techniques. So always explore a Lego element and brainstorm together how we can use the elements. So remember, this is a live stream. It's all about you guys as well. So we're here to learn and share from each other. So I do hope that you participate as well, and share your ideas as well, because I'm here to learn from you guys as well. I have, of course, thought of some things in preparation for the live stream, and I'll share that. But a lot of the ideas and inspiration I get are from you guys, the viewers and subscribers of Small Brick City. Alright, let's see who else is in the live chat. Just before we start, we've got Ninjago Brick, Star Wars Productions, Dude Jude 20, Swole Tommy Pickles. Great. And let's see, have I ever considered doing an old-timey thing like a milk truck with a milk delivery guy? No, but that sounds pretty cool. I'll think about it. Well, great to see all you guys here. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you just joined us, let us know where you are in the world and what time it is. For us, it's 10 a.m. Not too early in the morning, but a nice bright morning it is here. And let's start off with this live stream proper, and the topic we're going to start off with is what are some tips to build a LEGO store MOC. Now if you look in front of you, what you see in the camera, you can see my MOC for LEGO store. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been working on this over some time, probably a total of 6 to 9 months, maybe even a year. And this MOC has gone through various changes, various evolutions, and you can actually check out the latest version. I believe I called it the combo 7-in-1 MOC, and the reason I called it the 7-in-1 MOC was simply because I used 7 different sets to put it together. And that's what I'm going to get to first, and that is, how did I come up with this MOC? And if you were to build a LEGO store MOC, how would you put it together? This is my first tip and recommendation. Don't build it from scratch. There's really no need to, in my opinion. You can build this, or at least remock it, which is a remake, or you can expand it and modify it based on existing sets. And the great thing, as of this particular episode of the Brick Design Breakdown, there are 2 sets which are available that you can start off with. And that is the micro-scale LEGO brand store. That's the set you see on the left. And more recently, they put out this picture frame LEGO store on the right. Now, I saw that particular picture frame LEGO store, I think about 2 months back. I was thinking of getting it, but since I already had ample parts for LEGO store, I did not pick it up. However, if you are interested to build a LEGO store MOC, I do suggest you pick up either of these sets, or maybe you could pick up both sets so that you have some basic building blocks to begin your MOC. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel and start from scratch. And I personally like to start from an official set and then just make it my own. In this particular case, the micro-scale LEGO store, which is on the left-hand side, many people have actually used it as the basis of their LEGO store MOC, and I think it's a great start. Now, if you do intend to build a fuller modular-sized building, you will need more bricks. You'll need more white bricks, some yellow bricks, and maybe some gray bricks. You could possibly buy 2 sets of this micro-scale store, and that will give you quite a bunch of bricks. You still might need to add a bit more bricks, but definitely you will have more bricks since you have 2 sets, and you can build a more complete building. With the set on the right, which is the photo frame LEGO store, that might not give you enough parts to really build a full store, but you do have some internal details that you can work with, that you can use to decorate the interior of the store. That's why I personally would buy both sets if I'm just starting out to build a LEGO store MOC. I might buy 2 sets of the micro-scale store and just 1 set of the picture frame store, and that will be the basis of my MOC. In my case, the first version of my build, I actually built it from scratch. And then I incorporated the LEGO brand store, and that's how you see the similarities of those parts integrated into the front facade. I also used the roof part for the front as the back of my store. These I believe came from the sides of the original build, so I incorporated as the back. I put the ATM machine at the back, and all this is basically mocked. And of course, all these additional bricks were also added in just to create the full building, because generally for my custom LEGO city, I do like to have modular style buildings which are complete on all 4 sides, and the levels and the roof also separate. I also incorporated other builds, and that's on the inside, which I'll show you as I open up my MOC in just a bit. But just to show you the other sets that are available, not on the primary market, you will have to buy these on the secondary market, or on places like eBay or Bricklink or a Facebook marketplace. So they will be more pricey compared to the original retail price. The one on the left is the Minifig Factory, which is a really cool set, as you'll see later on. And the one on the right was a promotional polybag set that's called the Iconic VIP set. And it comes with a LEGO store, or at least a corner of a LEGO store, and there's that VIP plaque, which can be used in various ways. I used it on the inside as a wall decoration, but I know some people have also used it as a roof kind of a 3D sign for a Lego store. So these two sets alone, they give you a lot of building parts so that you can detail the interior of your Lego store. So I do recommend that you consider that if you are checking it out. Now there's one more final thing that I included in my own store. This again might be harder to get, or rather you would have to head over to a Legoland or Lego Discovery Center, and this is the Legoland Castle set. It's a small set, but what I did do was to incorporate it into the roof of my Lego store. I felt that it just gave it a bit more character. And if you look at some Lego stores or toy stores, you can see they would always add in some kind of very ornate or decorative facade just to give it that fun vibe. So I remarked that Legoland Castle set and I fit it into the front portion of my roof over here. So I do have two Brickleys, that's the dragon over here, but I think it works and I think it gives a lot of character to the building or the Lego store, so that if minifigs do come over to the Lego store and they see it, it just looks so fun and looks like they want to go in. I used the two brick suit characters from the collector minifig series, and I think these are one of my favorite minifigs, I think, from collector minifigs, simply because I think it's so cute, it's so apt, and I think they're perfect mascots for a Lego store. So if you can pick these up, I think they're great as well for you to put at least one on the outside of your Lego store. Let me show you the inside of my store, and then I'll just show you how I incorporated the different elements and give you more tips along the way. Oh, let's continue on the outside first. Now, the way I built this was a half modular style building. So it's built on a 16 by 32 stud base plate. I personally won't do one on a 32 by 32 stud base plate because Lego stores aren't that big. Now, if you think about the scale of Lego buildings in a Lego city, let's just say the Expert Modular Building series. All those builds are built on a 32 by 32 stud base plate. And let's take the brick bank. So that's a whole bank, and that's built on a 32 by 32 stud base plate. Have you seen a Lego store as big as a bank? Probably not. So I'm using that as a reference, and that therefore I only build it half the scale at 16 by 32. In fact, I think even if you build one half of this, so it's a 16 by 16, I think that would work as well. It doesn't have to be a huge building, so I would suggest a scale of this size or even smaller is fine for a Lego store MOC. If you do build it on a modular style design, as in you want to integrate it with your Lego city, with your other Lego modular buildings, you'd want to create a front sidewalk. Typically you use 5 or 6 studs in front, and that's so that it lines up with the rest of the modular buildings. And for the back, it really depends how big you want this building to be. I only have 3 studs over here. I think ideally this should be 5 studs or 6 studs as well, but that would mean my Lego store would be smaller, which I think I would have been fine with in the hindsight. It doesn't have to be so big, although I did fully maximize the space inside. But even if I cut it down by 2 or 3 studs, I think I would still be able to have a great interior, in my opinion at least. So if you're building the front facade, you'd want to incorporate the different decorative elements in. So I talked about how I used the micro scale Lego store set as well as the Lego castle set to create this interesting facade. I used these glass panels here in front because I think most Lego stores generally have glass where you look in so that you can see the Lego displays or the sets. And I also put in this little decorative piece, and this idea is from the Ninjago City set, where you use a 2x5 or 2x6 column, and because it's hollow, you put in these round tiles. So it's just a nice decorative feature. And of course, use a Lego sign or logo over there. And one of my contributions to the Lego community is to include the Duplo style brick, or this is actually a 2x2 Duplo brick, and I use it as my 3D sign. As fans of my channel, I'm sure you already know that I'm really big into 3D signs and using or creating brick-built 3D signs to represent a business or a function for that particular building. So I felt this Duplo brick works well. Originally, the first time I put a brick, I used the 2x4 regular Lego brick. But I felt, and I also asked, I wouldn't say asked, but I basically put up a photo on Reddit, the Lego subreddit, and someone did come back, and I think he gave the best rationale of why to use a Duplo brick. And basically because a Duplo brick would look oversized and odd or unique to the minifigs in terms of a scale, so it'll be more appropriate for the 3D sign, because in the minifig world they'll be very used to seeing regular Lego bricks, but a Duplo brick to them would be oversized and would fit a 3D sign. And I thought that logic was really sound, and that's why I've kept to this Duplo brick. And if you want to know how I attach the Duplo brick to the store, basically it's just placed on this 4-stud diameter plate, and they're not every plate will fit to a Duplo brick, so you have to kind of do a bit of trial and error. But in the case of a 2x2 Duplo brick, you can put this 4-stud diameter plate. I believe you could also use a square plate if you wanted. You can fit that in, and over here what I have is a very simple clip and bracket assembly to create a hinge, and that basically just gets pressed on. And let's see if I can do it here. Maybe it's easier if I do it this way, and that gets clipped on. So quite straightforward. And as you can see, my excellent workmanship. Yes, this is live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put it there. Okay. Well, now it's diagonal, but fine. We did a small mod on the spot. But let's get on to the inside. Before we get to the inside, once again, the roof. If you want, you can add roof detail as I have done. So there's an electrical junction box and this air conditioning compressor unit. So it's a modular style roof, but the way I did it was to split it only here because I had this Legoland castle. So that opens up like that. Okay, let's show you the ground floor first. So I tried to replicate the feel of a real Lego store. Now notice I said the feel and not necessarily the exact layout, because Lego stores all around the world are different, but there is a certain uniform or standardized feel. One is the color. So I used basically the color scheme from the microscale Lego brand store, and that's white, yellow, and light gray. And that's why on the inside I tiled the entire floor yellow with a bit of white, and I think that gives a very nice clean look, but it feels very Lego-like. So if you're building a Lego store, I think one of the most important things to try to include is a pick-a-brick wall. And what I've done is actually combined two sets together to create such a large wall. And even if you don't have those sets, to recreate this pick-a-brick wall is pretty simple. You just need modified bricks. There are these 1x4 modified bricks with studs on the front, and you just need, in this case, if you're building the wall this size, you need 8 of them. Then you need a variety of studs, round studs, put them on, and to really give it a more realistic and finished look, I do recommend getting these transparent tiles and placing them onto the wall. Some of the Lego sets come without the transparent studs and transparent tiles, and it's just these colored studs, but I feel it just doesn't look as good. So my tip is, if you can, do try to include those transparent tiles. Now, another reason why it's good to buy those Lego sets is they come with the Lego store employees. For example, of course, different ones will have different minifigs in different costumes. Some are in yellow, some are in black. But you will get at least these Lego store employees, which is nice to add into your Lego store. You also get a whole bunch of these, the boxes, the Lego store boxes, and you can use them as display pieces if you build shelves. So that's obviously quite important. One thing I do suggest, if you can, is to include some kind of a micro build, which is a central feature. It doesn't have to be big as this. This is my mini or micro scale Voltron, which I designed. It is a MOC, and you can check out a video tutorial that I shared on my channel. Just head over to my videos and search Voltron tutorial, and I'll teach you how to build this posable mini Voltron so it can actually move. to a certain extent if you don't break off his arm. But that's my mini Voltron, and I thought it was pretty good to include as a central build. Now, you of course don't need to have a Voltron. You could get, depending on of course the size of your building, you could buy some of the micro scale stuff, especially those that come with the Advent calendars. So there are a lot of micro builds that come with it, whether they're toys or there's the Star Wars Advent calendar as well. And all those can be used as micro builds. And I think it's a great feature to include in the center of the shop, or even against the window, where people can actually see the displays or the micro builds as they go in, because a lot of LEGO stores do have these not micro builds, but in those cases they are large builds, 3D sculptures made out of LEGO of various items, whether it's Voltron, whether it's R2-D2 or a Jurassic World dinosaur. So I would say always include some kind of micro build into your LEGO store. I've got more store shelves with different boxes that just populates the entire store. This particular piece actually came from the micro scale branded store once again, and it was really the roof element. Not sure why it's on the roof, probably just for a decorative feature, but I thought it fits better as wall art. And that's one great way you can decorate your store. Remember, when you decorate the interior of any building, whether it's a LEGO store or anything you build, you want to not just decorate the ground level, but also the walls. So a pick-a-brick wall is great, a high shelf is great, and of course some wall art like this. I included another table with some LEGO sets, and these are the ones on discount. So that was just my idea. Two more things I included. In this corner, you can see that's the activity area for kids to play and build LEGO. Since I had the space, I thought it's nice to fit it in, because every LEGO store I've been to always has some area, except for the really tiny ones, there's always some area for kids to build. And if you don't have space in your LEGO store, then I'd say maybe this is the first thing to forego. And here I've just got another bin, and those are 1x1 decorated tiles, and that's supposed to look like the collector minifig packets. And this came with the minifigs from the same series, with the small kids with the balloons and that gift that they hold. So that's basically decorating the inside of the first floor. Cash register here, as well as a computer. So these are all the essential things I think you want to include in your LEGO store. So if you have only one story, this is basically, I think, what you would include. And this is what I modeled after a real LEGO store, at least the feel of a real LEGO store. But if you notice, my LEGO store, or this build, is 2 stories. And the reason it's 2 stories is because I wanted it to match up with other modular buildings in my city. So this second story is more fantasy based, in the sense that I don't believe there's any LEGO store in the world which has this, but if they have it, it would be so cool. So what I did here was to use my imagination, and let me just show you this side here. You can see I've incorporated the iconic VIP store plaque into the wall decoration here. But this is more than a decoration, it also symbolizes what this second floor is all about. It is for VIP members of a LEGO store. So only if you have accumulated enough points do you qualify to come up to the second floor as a VIP. And you'd come up over here, and what would you see? You get to see master builders at work. And this set over here is the minifig factory. So if you were a VIP member, you'd be able to see a minifig factory or minifigs being built. And I basically took the entire set, took it out from the cardboard display, and I placed it inside here with very little modification. I did build this storage case over here and added a TV, like a monitor. But by and large, this is the original build, and I think that fits so well. I mean, wouldn't you really love to see? Those are some tips that I'm sharing, and hopefully you can use them to build your own LEGO store. So the main thing I would say, just to quickly sum up, would be Don't go too big. Don't do a 32 by 32 stud base plate, especially if it's your first MOC that you're building. I think that could be a bit much. But you could do it smaller like mine, the 16 by 32 or even a 16 by 16. Don't start from scratch. You can buy one of those Lego stores that I showed earlier and use that as your starting point. And in terms of the interior, I think a pick a brick wall is the most important. Of course, displays of the Lego boxes on sale, that's important. And if you can, add in some kind of micro build, either one large one like I did with the Voltron or smaller ones. I think that will give really lots of character to your Lego store. So what do you think? Let's bring up the chat and let's see what people have to say. And guys, if you've just joined, please do subscribe and like this video at the same time. And I know I've missed a lot of the chat, so let's see. I'm not going to go back all the way to answer some questions. So if you have any questions, you can ask them now. I'm just going to backtrack a bit and see what you guys have to say. Adorable, thanks for joining. HJ Hollis 68, I haven't seen you for quite some time. Midnight Cat Bricks, too cool for school. Great to see all of you guys here. Thanks, I'm glad you guys like the Lego store. Yes, wouldn't it be great if there really is such a build? Yes, I believe the stream went off for a few bits, so I'm not too sure how much I missed, but just judging by what I saw, it just went off for maybe 30 seconds or so. So you didn't miss much, so don't worry. Thank you very much, Drum Bones. Welcome to the live stream. Troublemaker Bricks, glad to see you here as well. Drum Bones, yeah, generally for my builds, I do like to create variety and density. That's generally my design philosophy when building Lego cities or MOCs. And yeah, the ATM in the back does make sense for you to spend money to buy stuff. Too cool for school. What time is it for me? It's now 10:30 a.m. So I'm ahead of you guys by at least 12 hours. Unless you're in Australia, then you'll be about the same time as us. So that's the Lego store tips. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, let's head over to the next part of the live stream. And that is how to modify the Caravan set. So this is something we just got. Off the top of my head, I can't even remember what the model number is, but I'm sure you've seen this. Let's get this in frame. I'm going to take off the chat from the main window, so I'll answer questions later on. So if you've got anything to ask, hold off to later. So here we have, this is the Caravan set that we got. Now, I've had my eye on this for some time, but didn't know whether I wanted to pull the trigger because it wasn't a must-have. It was something that I liked, but not essential. But I'm thinking of making some changes to the uptown section of Small Brick City. That's my custom Lego city. And there's going to be some drastic changes. I was discussing with Annie and with some, quite drastic ideas and something very interesting that we think you guys would like by transforming the entire area. And I can tell you, in Uptown, the original area was a suburban residential area. Then we're going to change part of it to a large Lego Movie 2 movie set. And that's why we wanted the trailer originally, so that this will be the trailer for the movie stars, Emmett, Wildstar, or the actors playing those characters. So I know it's a bit meta and surreal, because we're building a Lego Movie 2 set with some of the builds from the movie. So, but you definitely need trailers. But then we put that idea on pause for a while because we weren't too sure. But now we've got something else in mind, so maybe this would fit. So this is the set. It is a pretty cool set. It comes with the trailer or the caravan, which you can unhitch from the truck. And that truck in itself is decent. Nothing too spectacular to shout about, but I like the scale. It's not too large. So for a Lego city like mine, which is not too big, I like this particular scale. The caravan itself has got pretty much quite a few access points. There's one main door over here, and if you come over here, this is the part that you can hinge open so that you can access as a human being. So that's pretty cool. It's not modular style, so you don't lift off the roof, but you could change that if you like. But I think this is pretty nice to access the caravan, and you have sleeping quarters on the top, which is built modular style. So that's just 2 open studs or tubes to take on the studs, just like that. So this is not a review of the set, although if you're looking for some kind of trailer set or a different kind of vehicle for your LEGO city just to populate your roads, I do recommend the set. The idea really is to discuss how we can MOC this, remOC this, or utilize it in different ways. So think about it and let me know in the chat as well. And I'll just share some initial ideas I had. Of course, you can use it as it is. This on the box art was basically shown to be put at a camping site. So people will go fishing and a family could drive this up and they could have a little outdoor holiday. So that's the most obvious way to use it. As discussed earlier, if you have a movie set, this would be a great trailer for the movie stars, and you could have all kinds of scenes set up with the movie stars as well. You can have Lego Batman getting ready in the trailer. So one idea that I had was to use this or to remOC this as a food truck. So I could have it as a standalone truck because you could actually unhitch this, and there's this little hinged piece over here which can act as a stabilizer. So even if you didn't have the truck, you could just use the trailer portion, and to me this works like a good food truck. Because recently I built a food truck, which is this one. This is my City Pizza food truck, and I've done a review of this food truck, but I also sell the building instructions for this, which you can check out at smallbrickcity.com/shop. And the stickers for this food truck came from the extra sticker pack. So I wanted a really compact mini version of a food truck, although the scale is realistic. I've seen food trucks of this proportion. But I thought if I wanted a different scale or even a bigger one, I could convert this to a food truck. And that would make sense for a variety of places. You could have a food truck area where you have different food trucks all coming together to sell different food. You could have a theme park or amusement park where food trucks would gather. You could have a beach where you have food trucks set up as well to sell food to different beach goers. So that was my idea, to keep this as a food truck. You know, could remOC it, create an awning, add some stickers, change the windows, so maybe they're sliding windows or windows that open a bit like this one over here. And this truck could then be used for something else completely. I could convert this to maybe a fire truck, like a fire pickup truck. Because the colors are red, maybe you could change this to white or yellow or light gray. And that will work as one of those, not the huge fire engine trucks, obviously, but they do have auxiliary trucks which are used to get to locations fast, or they could be like emergency rescue trucks. You could build a canopy, so you get a little camper van style truck as well, or a Jeep-like vehicle. So I think this can be separated from this and used to create a new MOC for a vehicle to add to a LEGO city. So what do you guys think? Let me pull up the chat once again and let's see what you guys have to suggest for remOCing this. Let's see. Annie says this set is 60182. Thank you, Annie. Yes, that's the Annie bot. Annie, do you live or know Brick City? I bet you mean Small Brick City. Yes, Annie is the co-founder of Small Brick City. Yes. But she lives in a small cupboard, which is where she is right now. Alright, so let's see what people have to say. Nerdbrick 101, welcome to the chat. Maybe a roof rack with canoes on it. Yep, that makes sense. I do believe there is a set already like that, but that could make sense. Hey Ninjago Bricks, I know you're asking people to sub your channel, but YouTube is blocking that comment, because generally they do not want people begging for subs. So don't come on the stream begging for subs. YouTube naturally would block that comment. And he says she needs a bigger cupboard. Drumbooks, that's the way to go. Make it yours. True? Alright, thanks guys for subscribing to the channel as well. Appreciate it. And you guys, if you like, do head over to different people's channels here who are interacting with the community. You know, just go ahead and click on the 3 dots on the right of their name, and you can go to the channel and check them out. Feel free to sub them, but you know what? No one has obligation to sub back to you. They will check out the channel, your channel, and if they like the content, they will sub you. But don't beg for subs. Doesn't make you look good. Yep, Nut Brick 101, a flatbed, a tow truck. Yep, all great ideas. So I think that's pretty versatile with this as a base model to work with. Alright, let's move on to the last topic, and then we'll do a bit more Q&A, and we'll wrap up the live stream. Because generally I like to keep these live streams to 45 minutes. And just before I go into this last part, I'd just like to highlight, you might have noticed Annie, Small Brick City. So just to avoid confusion, yes, she is a co-founder of Small Brick City. She does a lot of the builds. In fact, she does all the official builds of the official sets that you see in the videos in the LEGO City. So I don't build any of the official sets. I just break them down and remock them. But Annie does have a brand new channel. So please head over to Annie, Small Brick City, or just hit that 3 dots next to her name. She'll say hi in the live chat so that you can see her, and head over to her channel. She's got brand new content, something quite different I think to offer to the LEGO community, what she calls therapeutic LEGO speed builds. So they are speed builds of LEGO sets, but done and presented in a very unique way. Definitely, you know, it's going to relax the body, soothe the mind, and calm the soul. So check that out after the live stream. And right now what we're going to do is we are going to go to the last topic, and that is where we always explore a LEGO element or a LEGO part and brainstorm ideas on how we can use them. And this is the element that I've chosen for today. Well, it's really 2 elements, but they work together. It's this hinging brick and plate. So it comes in 2 parts. There's this bottom part over here, and there's a plate. They come in this 2x2, or they also come in a 1x2 hinging plate. So we're going to discuss different ways that we can use these hinging brick and plate assemblies. Now, obviously, the most obvious use for this is to use it anytime you need to hinge something. So if you need to create an angle, for example, I think if you wanted to create a ramp from a base plate to maybe another brick, 2 bricks high, for example, for whatever reason, you could use this, put a plate or tiles over it, and you would create a ramp. So that's pretty straightforward. And by the way, you could use it 2 ways. You can put it the way like I just showed here, or you can flip it over and put it this way, see? So you can create different angles just by flipping it either way. So this obviously would create a much higher angle, and possibly I think if you use 2 of them together. So let's try this. If I were to flip this on the other side, and I've never done this before, so we'll see if it works. So I'm flipping this one this way, and could we put it, yeah, you maybe could put it so it's a more gradual ramp like that. So that might be a possibility, and maybe, I'm not sure if you put 1 more, if you could even do that. Or I would put a 1x2 cheese wedge piece here, and you create a gradual ramp. So that's one idea. Let's tilt the camera down just a bit. So what do you guys think? What ideas do you have? Now, besides a ramp, as I mentioned, this will work well if you want to create a pitch or slanting roof for a build, whether it's small or big. Obviously, with a big building, you need lots of these to create that slant. But I've got a small build over here. This is my tiki juice bar, and I actually used 3 of these hinging bricks to create the slant in the roof. And let me break this off so that you can see it. So I've got a 1x6 plate which holds all these hinging bricks in place, and I've got the plates underneath plates here. So that black one is the hinging plate, that plate's here to hold the whole roof assembly, and that's how I created this slanting roof for this tiki juice bar. This is also one of my small builds. Instructions are available at smallbrickcity.com as well, and I've got an older version in a video tutorial on this channel which you can find for free as well. So you can use that to create a slanted roof. If you want, you can have 2 of these. So let's say here like that, and you could create a typical inverted V-shaped pitch roof, and you use plates or tiles to cover the gap. So that's another use for this hinging brick. One use that I always use it for to create computers. So these are desktop computers. So for this, you need the decorated tiles, you need the keyboard, and you need the monitor, and you need an extra 1x2 brick underneath that hinging brick. You need a tabletop or maybe a plate like this. You put the keyboard on, and the reason why you need the extra 1x2 brick underneath the hinging brick, or the plate underneath the hinging brick, is so that you can hinge the monitor. If not, it would just get stuck. But this is my favorite use for this particular piece, to create a desktop computer. In a similar fashion, you can use the hinging brick to create some kind of display, whether it's for a newspaper stand or what I did here for my coffee kiosk. And this is basically a pastry display. So even if you didn't have this piece over here, it'll be more unhygienic, but that's the idea. Actually, come to think of it, the way that should have been done, I should have added in an extra brick. Now just imagine this is black, although white would work in this case, and that would probably work better. Well, no, actually it works worse. So ignore me. I probably did try it when I built the MOC, so ignore me. Just put the hinging brick on like that, and you can use this, and this is just for hygiene. Yeah, that's better. So it can be used as a display. And one final idea, this is a bit more out of the box, and I came up with this originally for my janitor's trolley. And for this, you are just using the hinging plate, and it's the 1x2 hinging plate. That's this piece over here. And I figured that it actually looks like small wheels. So if you want wheels for a small build, but all the prefab wheels are just too big, you can use it this way. And this is what I did here. See, so this is not a janitor's trolley, this is a medical trolley for my medical center. But you can see it does look like wheels, and the proportion is right. Because if you use the skateboard wheels, for example, it'll be way too big. And if you want to connect this to a base plate, you can use 1x2 bricks like that. And I use transparent bricks or plates just so that you can't see them that well. And you can stick this to your plate or base plate, and this trolley won't go anywhere. So those are just some of my ideas using these hinging bricks and plates. Do you have any other ideas? Let's head back to the chat once again and see what you guys have. I'm sure you guys have some creative ideas. Okay, let's see what I missed. A lot of people going to Annie's channel and they like the channel. Thanks so much for the support, guys. You guys are really sweet, and it's great to support everyone's channel. Trombones. So interesting to see JC's mind work live, or maybe sometimes not work. Blindside Brick says, I would have to hold the pieces to see exactly what it is and then come up with a design, but I like what you come up with the ramp. Yeah, I understand exactly what you mean. Sometimes we do need the parts to get the inspiration, and I'm like that as well. I do need that tactile feel to the bricks. Nerd Brick 101 giving great suggestions. Have a fence, slanted roadway, a sign holder, basket holder, rock work support. That's very interesting. I've never thought of that. So I believe what Nerd Brick 101 is talking about, if you want to create some kind of slopes or rocky surface that you build up at an angle, this can help. I think that's really interesting. Thanks for sharing. Shelves, what kind of slanted shelves are you talking about? Or are you just talking about having it at a 90-degree angle? Lots of ideas. Keep it coming. Now, while you are giving these ideas, I'd just like to let you know we're going to wrap this up very soon. If you did join in this live stream, I'd like to thank you in advance before we leave. And if you're watching this replay, thank you as well. And do remember, we do have our weekend live stream called Coffee and Bricks. That happens on a Sunday night for me, but a Saturday during the day or evening for most of you. So do join us then as well. That's a completely different format, presentation and delivery for this for a live stream. And Nerd Brick 101 says, like you put a 1x2 L locking piece down. I don't know what it's called, but I think you mean a panel piece. Oh, I know what you mean. So yeah, it's kind of a shelf. So let's see if I have a piece on hand. No, I don't have a piece right here. But he's saying to create a shelf, or a display shelf rather. So if you take the panel piece, which is a right angle 1x2 piece in this case, you can put it here and it'll look like a little shelf and you can angle it. Yeah, it's a good display shelf. Got what you mean. Drumbone says, I use those plates for false backdrop, but I can in drop or hinge down depending on what scene I have going. That makes sense as well. Yeah, having a backdrop, that's great ideas. And of course, you can put lights. You know, if you're having footlights, some kind of a light, searchlights or whatever, you could maybe not use the 2x2s, depending how big a light you want. But you could put a round brick here, transparent tiles, and it's a good spotlight that you can angle up and down. Blind Side Brick says, but you're technically visually impaired as well, so I don't know exactly what the piece is you're holding. Ah, that does make sense. So the username checks out as well. Well, yeah, the hinging plates and bricks, although I don't think that's the official term, but that's the closest they are. But they will be found under the modified bricks or modified plates under Bricklinks. Well, guys, just like to say thank you so much for joining the live stream. We are wrapping up. Do hit like, subscribe to the channel, and remember to check out Annie's channel. You definitely would want to check it out because it's just so relaxing. And thanks once again. Really appreciate your time. And if you like the format of this particular live stream, the brick design breakdown, please let me know in the comments as well, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this as a replay, because this is a different concept. I have been doing this regular for 3 episodes. I definitely will do 1 more episode to make it 4. But I'm not sure if I want to make this a regular series. It does depend on the response and whether you find this useful, you find this interesting, and you like to see more of this particular live stream, as in of this particular concept where we discuss Lego building techniques and ideas. Well, let me know in the live chat and let me know in the comments. Well, thanks everyone for joining in, and as always, hit the like, subscribe, and check out our videos before you go anywhere. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon.